Heathcliff, Patty.
You're good. All right. Episode 2 of Will Watches. The girls are out of town, so we got to watch 5 movies.
Yeah.
So the first one, Reservoir Dogs from Quentin Tarantino. What did you think?
It was good.
What was good about the movie?
Well, for one, I didn't know who was the cop until like the end, and I was trying to figure out who it was the entire movie.
The whole movie, you're like, I think it's him. No, it's not him. No, it's not Mr. White. It's not Mr. Blonde.
I didn't think it was Mr. Orange either because the way he was acting.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be him.
And the fact that he was laying there shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you ahead of time that Quentin Tarantino is known for his dialogue, but people talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that?
Well, the way that they had their code names made it more like suspenseful because you didn't know who was who. If you might have known who was like their names, it might have given more of a clue to who was the cop.
Yeah. But just the way they talk to each other, what did you think of that? Little different than other movies you've seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you enjoy the way they would talk to each other?
Yeah.
Okay. What else did you like about the movie?
Well, how they would like it started off after the heist,
yeah,
and how it went wrong, and then they would have like flashbacks once they reference something.
Yeah, and then it gave you the background for at least the main characters in it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that didn't work for you?
Fact that everybody died at the end.
Yeah.
Except for that one.
Steve Buscemi, Mr. Pink.
Uh-huh.
There's speculation, though, that he didn't make it out, that the cops shot him when he ran out of the building.
Yeah.
So probably nobody survived.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed the suspense of trying to figure out who the cop was.
Yeah.
Once they got into his backstory, what did you think?
I started liking him because he would talk about superhero stuff like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. All right. So if you rank this movie out of 5, what would you give it?
Like a 3.5.
3.5? Okay. Solid score. And then the second movie we watched, it was the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people know the Kentucky Fried Movie, but it was a 1977 movie about they were all skits, and then there was a main feature, which was a spoof movie.
Yeah.
A Fistful of Yen, a spoof on Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
All right, so what in that movie worked for you?
Well, the second to last skit.
Yeah. The daredevil who ran in the group of black guys and yelled the N-word.
Yeah. And started running.
Yeah. What else worked? What else did you like about it?
I really liked the spoof movie, especially seeing Enter the Dragon and then watching that.
Yeah.
It really worked that way.
When I had first saw it, when I was probably your age, I had not seen Enter the Dragon, and I still found it funny, but once I knew the story of it, it made it a lot more funny. Mm-hmm. The Dr. Claw with all the different hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything in the movie that didn't work for you?
Part of the scenes where I had to actually close my eyes or look away.
Yeah, they had a few clips that you couldn't watch.
Yeah.
We've talked in the past with Austin Powers about the comedy not holding up, because the way people look at comedy is a little bit different today than back when Austin Powers was made. Well, this was even older. Do you think this comedy holds up?
Some of it did, but at the same time, some of it didn't.
Okay. Like, what didn't hold up, do you think?
Near the beginning, there was a scene, I don't exactly remember it the best, but the comedy just didn't work.
Okay. Do you think a movie like that could be made today? A skit movie like that?
Some of the things they put into it weren't that bad, but then with the other stuff, probably not.
But, like, just think, if it was all with today's humor, would a movie like that work at the movie theaters?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
Okay, and then the final movie we watched on the first day was Battle Royale.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
It was really good.
Oh, wait. We didn't rate Kentucky Fried Movie. On a 5, what would you give it?
A 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
So Reservoir Dogs, then that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Battle Royale. What worked?
Well, you did say it was violent before we went into it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of expecting that after you said it. And like how there were different teams
Yeah.
really showed how people do like to stick together.
Yeah. Even though they would have to face off eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. The violence was a little over the top, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I think that really worked for this type of movie.
Well, in the first little part of the movie, there was already blood from the previous girl flying on the helicopter coming back in.
Yeah. Yeah, so you knew a little bit of what to expect.
Yeah.
But then the teacher throws the knife and kills the one girl and then blows the head up of the second boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what all worked? What did you enjoy about it?
I enjoyed seeing them work together, and then also at the end how they all 3 of them survived.
Mm-hmm. And took out the corrupt teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took out the teacher and the other transfer student that was a bit crazy.
Yeah. The guy who willingly went into the...
Yeah.
Yeah. What was there anything that didn't work for you?
The fact that some of them were killing their friends.
Yeah.
It just... If you have a friend, you'd be less likely to kill them first, which is what some of them did do.
Yeah. Even if you knew that you might have to do it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep my time with them as long as I can.
Yeah. What about some of the weapons?
The weapons, it was crazy because, like, the main character got a pot lid, and then one of the more popular girls got an SMG or assault rifle.
Yeah.
I think it was an SMG.
Yeah. There was a wide range of what they were given.
Binoculars,
a taser. But they survived with the pot lid and the binoculars.
Yeah, but that's also because the other transfer student let them trust him.
Yeah. Worked with them, kind of protected them a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made a comment that it was a lot like Hunger Games.
It was.
So this came out before Hunger Games. The book came out a while before that even.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how much of Hunger Games was taken from it.
If any of it.
If any of it, yeah.
2 people could have just had similar ideas.
Yeah. And that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Was there anything else about that movie? Good, bad?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. So out of 5, what would you rate it?
Another 3.5.
Another 3.5, so
Yeah.
right there with Reservoir Dogs.
Mm.
Okay. And then movie number 1 yesterday was Dogma from Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was good. I really liked how you could see how Loki and the other fallen angel,
Bartleby.
how they both changed throughout the movie.
Yeah. As a kid that's gone to church his whole life, what did you think about the religious aspect of it?
Some of it was just unrealistic,
Mm-hmm.
but funny at the same time.
Yeah.
The other stuff was just funny.
Yeah. But did you think about like some of the stuff that Kevin Smith brought up, like the 18 years of the Bible where you don't know what happens with Jesus?
I didn't know that there was 18 years where we didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really that... I don't have much knowledge about the second... the second...
The New Testament?
Yeah, that.
Yeah. So does it make you wonder, though, did Jesus really have siblings?
Yeah, it does.
And what other stuff was left out of the story?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that's interesting about the Bible is it wasn't written down for a long time, and it was just passed down in stories from generation to generation.
Yeah.
So
People could have altered things.
Yeah, people could alter things. The message changes over time depending on who's telling it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot of interesting stuff in there to think about. What'd you think of Jay and Silent Bob?
I was not expecting them to be in the movie because I didn't know it was part of that universe.
Yeah.
But it was funny hearing Silent Bob talk like 2 lines and Jay talking the rest of the time.
Yeah. Was there anything in the movie that didn't work for you?
At the end, when God came out,
Yeah.
it was a bit far-fetched.
Far-fetched that God would come out like that, or as a woman, or how do you mean?
Just the fact that she wouldn't talk.
So
I know they hit that earlier in the movie, but if she couldn't talk, I don't really see the point of her coming out at all. Just send her angel.
Yeah, well, I think it's to show that she had woken up.
Yeah.
That God is still present, even though you might not necessarily hear her.
Yeah. Also, how the great grand niece of Jesus, how she had to die.
The last Zion.
Yeah, she didn't have to die.
Yeah, but I mean, as a relative of Jesus, she came back to life.
Yeah.
Family tradition of that.
Yeah, but would that mean that Lazarus' family would come back if they died too?
Yeah, good point. So that was your first exposure to a Kevin Smith movie. You've heard a lot about Kevin Smith. You've heard him talk a lot.
Yeah.
What did you think from like a creative perspective? Like, you've heard me talk about Quentin Tarantino a lot. You've heard me talk about Kevin Smith a lot.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
I was kind of expecting it for the most part because you've talked a lot about his movies.
Yeah.
There was a little bit I wasn't expecting, but not much.
So on a 5 for that one.
3.5 or 4.
Oh, okay. So that might be the leader in the house for the weekend of what we saw until we get to this one.
Yeah.
All right. So the final movie we watched, another classic director, we watched Young Frankenstein from Mel Brooks.
Yep.
So you have had exposure to Mel Brooks before, but you were kind of young, and you said you want to revisit Spaceballs and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
So what worked in Young Frankenstein?
The humor.
The humor. Were you expecting like the original Frankenstein, not his his grandson?
Yeah, I was expecting the original.
So you're probably thrown off when he was teaching at a university?
Well, I thought that it started out like that, but as you went back, it started to like flash back and visit the actual Frankenstein.
Yeah. So what did you think of Dr. Frankenstein?
I like seeing how he also changed throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And how he kind of like began to fill in his grandpa's place.
Yeah.
The more the movie went forward.
Yeah. Gene Wilder, the guy that played him, is a really good actor. Really funny guy. And he co-wrote the story. What did you think of Frankenstein's monster?
He was hilarious.
He was hilarious?
Yes.
Yeah. Peter Boyle, the actor, he was a very funny guy too. And I think your favorite part was probably the scenes with the late, great Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
As the blind priest.
Yeah.
I think that's the funniest I've ever seen you laugh.
It was hilarious because the priest didn't even know what he was doing, and bringing the scooper just back and forth as he was pouring it into his bowl.
Yeah.
And pouring it on his crotch.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole situation was hilarious because he didn't mean to, but he did.
Yeah. It's the simple things that could be the funniest things sometimes.
Yeah.
Was there anything in that movie that didn't work for you?
At the end, I don't really get how he would switch like part of his brain over to Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I feel like if he did, their brains would just switch in general, and he'd be in. The monster would be in Frankenstein's body, and the other way around.
Instead of them having a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I probably that was just to have the happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So on a 5 on that one.
A 5.
A 5?
Yeah.
So that's the highest rated movie we've watched.
It was really good.
Yeah. Do you want to watch more Mel Brooks stuff then?
Yeah.
And then revisit the ones you've already seen?
Yeah.
So you have a couple favorite directors. Mel Brooks might be on that list now.
Yeah.
Where would you put him with Christopher Nolan? Because I know you're a big Christopher Nolan fan.
He's not as good. His movies aren't as good as Christopher Nolan's, but he's still pretty high up there.
Yeah. But they make different styles of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like The Natural Disaster because that's very science related.
Yeah. So like the
And-
Roland Emmerich stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. And you've seen all his work
Yeah.
for the most part. And then where would you put little that you've seen of Quentin Tarantino and Kevin Smith in there?
They're probably along the same lines as I don't remember his name now.
Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to find like other directors you like, or you just want to watch the movies?
Watch the movies.
Okay. I don't know when the next time we're going to be able to do this because Mom's going to be in town for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe we can sprinkle some in with her.
Mm-hmm.
So Young Frankenstein, funniest movie you've seen in the last few weeks, we'll say.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I think last time we did miss a few movies that I have seen
Okay.
other times.
Some older movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Any of them off the top of your head that you can think of?
No, I thought you might know though.
I'm not thinking of any right off the bat. Did you want to go back and watch older movies like the Charlie Chaplin stuff?
Yeah.
More of those?
Mm.
Okay. We might be able to talk Mom into those.
Mm.
And then we went through the AFI Top 100. Were there any of those that really stuck out that you wanted to see?
Not that I can remember. I don't remember much off that list.
Yeah.
Mainly the stuff I've seen.
Yeah. You saw 9 under the top 100.
Yeah.
But I think you're probably added a couple this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Did we talk about Shawshank and those other movies that we found on that list?
No. So yeah, we can go through a couple of those, like Shawshank Redemption. What did you like about that movie?
I like the whole escape part, him escaping part,
Yeah.
and that he did go to prison even though he didn't do it, which really does show that some people go to prison when they are innocent,
Yeah.
which is kind of realistic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anything that didn't work in that movie?
Not really.
Not really. So that is a short story from Stephen King.
A short story?
Yeah. It was like 100 pages or something.
Oh, you're talking about the book,
Yeah.
not the movie.
Well, yeah, the original story for it. So, not all Stephen King stuff is scary, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay. On a 5, what would you give that one?
A 4.
Okay. We'll do 2 more.
All right.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, so good.
So, what worked in that?
When they found the first Ryan, that wasn't him.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he spared one of the enemies,
Mhm.
and then the enemy spared him later on.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about the first 15 minutes of the movie?
So bloody. The waters were red.
Have you ever seen a movie start so intensely?
Not that I can remember.
Yeah.
I think that's the most intense movie.
Yeah. And people, when it came out in theaters, people had leave the theaters because they were having PTSD.
From World War II.
Yeah. Older people that went to go see it.
Yeah.
You could see how that could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Tom Hanks in it as the captain that's supposed to find him?
I don't remember it the best.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what Tom Hanks did
Okay.
specifically.
Okay. We might have to rewatch that then.
Yeah.
Anything that didn't work in that movie for you? Besides Nazis?
Nah.
No. On a 5 for that one.
Another 4.
Another 4?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last one we'll talk about is Gladiator. The
other in that pile of movies.
Yeah. So what What worked in Gladiator for you?
Well, I'm a huge fan of like ancient Rome and that style of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it really worked there because I like that type of stuff, and seeing that on like in a movie is pretty cool to me.
Do you, from what you know, did you feel like it was historically accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did see the Colosseum.
Yeah. Anything in that movie not work?
I don't think I was 100% paying attention.
Yeah.
So, not that I can recall.
Okay. So that's another one to rewatch, huh?
Yeah.
So from what you remember, out of 5?
4 or 4.5.
Okay. So the little bit ahead of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, there was another movie we didn't talk about.
What's that?
The Last Samurai.
Okay. What did you think of that?
It was good. Another kind of historical movie.
Yeah. Do you think a white U.S. general would go over and teach the Japanese how to fight?
I can see that happening, or it could have happened.
Yeah.
What I don't really see happening is the samurais taking him prisoner.
And then kind of adopting him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a Tom Cruise movie.
Mm-hmm.
How did he do in that compared to other stuff you've seen him in? Mainly the Mission Impossible movies.
He was good. I mean, he did run in it.
Of course. Anything that didn't work in it?
Again, them adopting him.
Yeah.
Also, how they kind of massacred all the samurai.
Yeah. I didn't like that either, even though it's probably what happened.
Yeah.
On a 5 for that one.
4.5.
Wow. That one ahead of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, that was one of those. Out of those 4, it was probably the highest when we saw them all.
Okay. So it was a few years ago, so maybe if you watch them now, though, that might change?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. I think we hit quite a good amount of movies this week.
Yeah.
All right. We'll try to do this again next week.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on social media at Nyrdcast. It's NYRDCAST, and at our website, nerdcast.com. Be sure to rate and review the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. This week's featured track is Keep the Light Going by Heathcliff.
Heathcliff, Patty Patty.
Listen up! It's been a while, but we just got